Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, and today is Sunday, June the 11th, 2023. Welcome to my Flosstube. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch. I do all different types of projects, all different size projects. So if you like what you have to see, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. If you're returning to my channel, I'd like to welcome you back. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and commenting and all that stuff. So I just posted a video yesterday, so you're like, why are you here today? Well, if you watched my video yesterday, you'll know why. Whip parade time! Woo! This is my mid-year whip parade for 2023. I have 139 projects to show you, and at various stages. And if you had watched my whip parade or any of my videos previously, you'll know that I have a goal set for every project, various like, stitch counts, percentage to get to, all that stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do first, this may end up being in two parts like the end of year whip parade was last year. We'll see. But for right now, I'm gonna start and we'll see how far we can get, and then I may have to stop and then reset and start again. So it might be in two parts. But anyway, what I'm gonna show you first is the whips that I have completed my goals on. So that will be about 50 whips. I know that because I just did a update yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. These are in no particular order. I just pulled them out of my completed goal bin, and they're not in any kind of order. So we'll just see what we pull out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is an old dimensions kit, a branch of dimensions from Creative Accents, and this is called Riding the Wave. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And I have my goals all on a spreadsheet here. So let me see what my goal was for that one. That one, I wanted to get 500 stitches on it before I put it away. And so if you've never watched my channel before, so once I have the goal completed, I put it away. And I'm gonna change it up for next year so I don't get stuck in this never-ending cycle of not finishing anything. But I put it away for the rest of the year so I can continue to work on my other goals. But my goal was to get 500 stitches on this, and I'm gonna hold it right about here, because when you look at it in person or up close, it doesn't look like anything, but when you hold it back, you can see I had started this many, many moons ago, and let's see, copyright 2003. And my goal for this was to do 500 stitches on it so that you could actually, I could tell when I got back to it where I was. So I did 500 stitches on this, and I did a center start, and this is being stitched with whatever came in the kit, and this is a 16 count Dove Gray Ada. But I did 500 stitches on this one to get that goal completed. Just a heads up, if you've never watched me, I don't edit my videos with pictures and stuff, and that is because I film on my phone. And when I got my phone, I got the one that has like 64 gigs of like storage, so I cannot, I don't have enough space to save these monstrous videos that I do to edit them, to be able to edit them. But hopefully that will change in the future. If I can get something that has more space, then I'll be able to add in pictures. So yeah, for right now, you're just gonna have to deal. I'm sorry. So anyway, that project there, I had completed that goal back in January. So this next one here is a small Bucilla kit called Bless This Nest. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And I got this one. Oh, pardon me, sorry. I got this one a long, long time ago. 2011. It's a small piece, but it was my first full coverage because every thing on here is stitched. There's no like empty space. And my goal for this, I think, was 500 stitches as well. Bless this nest. Yeah, 500 stitches on the lower part, because I had done a center start on this. And so I wanted to get 500 stitches of background on this lower section here, which I had done. I had kind of come in and filled all this in here and started coming back up. So that's what that one looks like. And this is just like, I think a 14 count white Aida is what it's being stitched on. And that goal I completed in February. As you can see, there's obviously no rhyme or reason to how I'm showing these, since I had one in January, one in February. Let's see. This next one here is Gingerbread Gnome, and this is from, oh, this one I have purchased. She has a website now, so I think you can find either this or something similar to it on cutebroidery.com. If you guys see any of these things, I have 139 whips. There is no way I'm going to be able to link every single pattern down below. But what I think I'll try to do is at least link the shops or the websites. I think I might try to do that. But I bought this pattern when the designer was with one Etsy shop, then she opened her own Etsy shop, then she opened her website and closed her Etsy shop down. So, yeah, this is the Gingerbread Gnome, and my goal for this was to work on the little gingerbread man that the gnome is holding. So my goal for this was to work on this one right here. Not back stitching or anything, just the cross stitching, which I did. And that goal was completed in January. So I think I've been mentioning this in other videos. I think next year I'm going to just do like, maybe have a limit to how many times I can pull the project out. But just continuously, every time I do my basket of goals, just go ahead and put it back in the mix so that I can keep working on it, because otherwise it will take me like 10 years to finish some of these small things, because once I get the goal done, it's done, you know what I mean? This one here is from Twin Peak Primitives, and it's Gingerbread Smalls from 2022. I started with this one here, that one there in the middle. So anyone who's seen this before or has seen my other like things I want to start, I'm actually going to hold this out so I can show it next time, because I still have another episode of that to do. But these are all going to be counted in that things I want to start, these other ones here. This is the only one I've started. And my goal for this was to do 500 stitches on that door. And if I had finished that, then I would move over to a window or something. I'm doing this on a 28 count fabric from Even Weave from Fiber on a Whim, and the color is Cornflower. I still have the tag on it, that's how I know that. I can usually remember the color. I always have a hard time remembering who dyed it. So I'm going to finish them all separate, so they're going to be counted as separate starts, but I am stitching them on one piece of fabric. So I started with the center one in the center. I'm always scared to cut these things until they're all done. So anywho, let me get this so that I really like this cornflower. It's really pretty. It's like, I like it a lot. So anyway, so I did 500 stitches on the door. So I did the door frame and the door itself, and obviously I didn't get to finish it because I hit my 500. I tried real hard once I hit my goal I tried real hard to just put it down and walk away, because if I went over my goal on everything, that'd be great, but at the same time, that is that much less stitching I can do for my other ones. And some of these projects have some really high stitch counts that I wanted to hit. But yeah, so that's where I'm at on that one. And I hit this goal in January as well. Some of these, I was very realistic. I was like, oh, 500 stitches or even 1,000 stitches. And some of them, I'm like, I want to finish a whole page on this full coverage. Or I want to get to a ridiculous percent of a very large full coverage. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking at the beginning of the year. So if you did not watch my whip parade at like the end of year whip parade from last year, I'm gonna hold this out so I can save that for my things I want to start. If you did not watch my whip parade at the end of last year, when I set all these goals, I said that if I hit them all, I was going to do a new start every day next year. I don't think I'm gonna hit that though. But we're still trying. We're still trying just to see if I can do it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is from Shannon Christine Designs, and this is called Cup of Cheer. Isn't that cute? And this one, my goal was to finish, I started in the center, was to finish the cup and the gingerbread man. And I did not do the backs. Like there's a little bit of back stitching for the frosting on the gingerbread man. I did not finish that part, but really I was just trying to get the cross stitching done. I'm doing this on a 14 count Aida. I want to say that the color is weird compared to the actual color of the fabric. It's called True Blue, I believe, but I wanted like a gray, which is like, I wanted this color, but it's like called True Blue for some reason. I don't know why, because it ain't blue, it's gray. But that's where I'm at on that one. And I hit this goal in January. Yeah, because I was using it for a prompt in one of my games that I play on Facebook. So I finished this cup and the gingerbread man. So there's that. If you hear any banging, it's my neighbors upstairs. They have no sense of people living below them. They're loud. They've gotten better. It used to be like I don't like filing complaints about my neighbors, but I had to file one about this one because it was getting ridiculous. It was literally all day, all night, like from when I woke up until like after midnight. I'm like, do they never sit down anywhere? Like it sounds like they're just constantly go, go, go. And it sounds like they're flinging furniture around. It's ridiculous. I'm like, don't they ever have to sit down? I don't know if they have a dog, maybe. My guess is a dog or a kid. I've never seen them. I don't even know what they look like. But it has to be like a dog or something. There's no way a grown adult will be moving around that much. You know what I mean? So anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is, this is actually a UFO to be restarted next year. So this is a Jan Lane kit of a snowman, and it's called Snowy Days. And it's really cute. I like this a lot. But my issue is it's a stamped kit. And I started it a long time ago. And I was going to try to just deal with it. But I did not like it at all. I don't like the way the stitches were turning out. They looked bunchy to me because it was hard to tell where to start and end the X's because they're all like bunched up together. I didn't like it. I put about maybe 20 stitches in and I was like, you know what, screw this. I don't like this at all. So I'm going to restart this on like a 28 count, like white opalescent Monaco or something. So this will be a restart for next year. So I'm kind of glad I'm doing this whip parade because I need to order fabric for this. So I'm going to set this one aside too. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is another piece by Shannon Christine Designs, and this one is called Autumn Favorites. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I finished this goal back in January as well, and my goal for this was to do the word pumpkin right there. I had started in the middle. I'm doing this on a 14 count Aida in the color chalkboard. So I think because of the color of the fabric, the stitches aren't as bright maybe as they are on the mock-up right there, because I'm doing it on like kind of a chalkboard fabric. So, but I like it. I still like it though. There we go. So I had started in the center and I had done all this already. So my goal for this was to finish the word, to do the word pumpkin. And I did that back in January as well. There we go. So that's where I'm at on that one. It's really cute. I like it a lot. So. The next thing I'm going to show you is Day to Night Tropic. So this is a piece from, it's a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. So you cannot get it on Pain Free Crafts anymore. However, so the, hang on, give me just a second. Let me pull this up first, because I have a bit of news for anyone who likes these patterns. Which one? Tropics. Okay, so like I was saying, this is a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. This is a large full coverage piece. It's 600 by 430. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that gorgeous? The artwork is by Lars Stewart. And he is actually also, he is licensed with Heaven and Earth Designs. He was with both for a while. I think his licensure like expired or something with Pain Free Crafts, but he's still with Heaven and Earth Designs. This particular one is not up yet. However, I believe, I'll point it out when I get to it. I think Day to Night North America is up on Heaven and Earth Designs now. I believe it was a new release on Friday. But anyway, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And these full coverages, I normally always start, there's a couple I started in the middle, but for the most part, I always start in the upper left-hand corner. So my start was up there. And like I said, this is a retired chart right now. So right now it's not available anywhere, but I have a suspicion that it will probably be available sometime this year on Heaven and Earth Designs. So my goal for Day to Night Tropics was to get it to 0.5%. And I'm doing this 1/1 full cross, and I think this is a 28 count easy count Lugana. So this is 0.5%, like I said, upper left hand corner. So this is 1,300 stitches out of 258,000 stitches. And things like, you know, well, actually just about all of these things, like, you know, when I see them, I'm like, man, I kind of regret saying that I was going to put it away so I could get other goals done, because I want to work on this. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad I'm doing it this way, because at least the idea of doing it like this was so that I would actually work on every single one of my projects and decide if I wanted to complete them or not. Because there's a couple of them that I UFO'd, and I'm going to restart on different fabric or just not do them at all, instead of just sitting wasting away in my closet. Okay, so this next thing I'm going to show you is another kit from Creative Accents, and this is called Frederick. And I've actually seen this quite a bit on Facebook of people working on it or finishing it, which is kind of funny to me because I bought this copyright 2006. It's like really old. But anyway, my goal for this, oh, that Day to Night Tropics, I completed that goal in January. So Frederick, I wanted to do 500 stitches on the red book. So I had started in the middle, red book and the book to the right, and I finished this goal in January as well. So I wanted to finish the cross stitching in this book here, and then I was going, because this book is done except for the back stitching. This book is done, so I wanted to get this book completed, and I moved over to this one. And I'm just doing whatever it came in the kit. So this is a 14 count black Aida. And I'm just using whatever came in the kit. So there's that. I'm trying to get the air out of the bag, so I'm closing it so stuff doesn't fall out. Okay, next up is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and this is Christmas Rules. I love this piece so much. So it says Christmas Rules. Can I hold it back here? Deck the halls, drink hot chocolate, hang your stocking, build a snowman, spread joy, go sledding, and believe. Love it. Let me give you a little bit of a closer look there. Not too long though, I got a lot to go through. Designed by Lindsay Waite. And I'm doing this on a, I think this is 16 count, some kind of gray Aida. And my goal for this was, Christmas Rules. My goal for this was finish the snowman section and the X's underneath it. And I did. When did I finish this goal? Where did it go? Christmas Rules, February. So I had started in the center, which was like right about here, and I had done the word stocking, but when I was working on it, the way my Q-snap was, this was more available, so I had a bit more of this done, so I decided I wanted to go ahead and finish. I had a good portion of this part done, and so I wanted to go ahead and finish this section. I decided at the time I wasn't going to mess with it, but when I pull this back out next year, I may take a little bit of orange thread and redo his nose, because I did it how it said, and you can barely see it. Just like a little, like couple back stitches of the orange, but you can't really see it very well, so I'll probably redo the nose when I pull this back out. But for the most part right now, that section is done. And like I said, 16 count, some kind of gray Aida. I also have, so this is Christmas Rules, and I have Hive Rules and Autumn Rules that I'm going to be starting next year. Next up is From the Ashes, and this is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Let me find it. Here we go. And this is artwork is by Abraham Hunter, and this is a crop of a larger piece. This is 423 by 423. I love this. And it's got 105 colors in it. And my goal for this was a new start last year, and I wanted to get it to 1%, and I completed that in February. I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. So upper left hand corner start, and I have right now 1,800 stitches out of 178,929, and I'm at 1.01%. So not much to like. No fun stuff on some of these full coverages. A lot of it is just background because of how it started. But I kind of like the fact that you get some of that background out of the way starting in the corner like that, because that stuff is usually kind of boring. So yeah. Okay, so this next one is called Bee Gnome, and this is from that cute broidery lady. I don't know her name, but I'm gonna hold it back here because I don't have a mock-up of it, but this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. And Bee Gnome. My goal for this was to do 1,000 stitches on the hat. Let me see. Where did it go? 1,000 stitches on finishing the hat brim and the lower part of the hat. And I'm doing this, so I got that goal done, obviously. I finished the goal in February. I'm doing this on one of those, you know, those rolls of the printed Aida that you can get at like Joann's or Michael's or, you know, Hobby Lobby or wherever you shop. That's what this is. And I've been calling this the color of dog pee because it looks like a dog peed on the fabric. But anyway, so I got this goal done in February. But yeah, it's the printed Aida. So you got the other side is white. There we go. Nope. Jesus. There we go. So I finished the brim of the hat and then the cross stitching for a good portion of this and the little antenna. Obviously I don't have the back stitching done. I just wanted to get the cross stitching done on that. So there's that. Next up is one of my villages. This is from Stony Creek Collection, and this is called Spring in the Village. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And the quote at the bottom of it says, "Spring's behavior is ever spent to make the world magnificent." So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And let me find it on my list. Spring in the Village. I wanted to finish the cross stitching on the first floor of the building that I had started. I started this in the center. So I wanted to finish all the cross stitching on the first floor of the building, which I did. So the antique shop right here. And I finished this goal in February. You know what I didn't even think about doing? Something like this where I just said finish cross stitching. I didn't even mark down how many stitches I did on it. I mean, I have a record of it in one of my games, but yeah, I should go back and look and see how many I did, so I know how many stitches I did at the end of the year. But anyway, I'm doing this, I don't remember who dyed it. I got the fabric on 1, 2, 3 stitch, and this is a 28 count even weave in the color Bone. It was kind of like a pale peachy pinky color that I thought would fit spring really well. I have all 4 of the village. I have all 4 of the villages, and I'm doing all 4 of them on a different fabric. And that was mainly because I had purchased winter first with a not called for fabric, and then that said fabric was out of stock when I wanted to start the other 3. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do a different fabric roll. Okay, the next thing is Peacock Gnome, and this is from Cute Broidery as well. But this was when I like all these, if I say they're from Cute Broidery, I bought them when she was with that Etsy shop that she's no longer with. So I don't know if this particular, I got stuff in my eye. I don't know if this particular pattern is actually available or if you can just find something similar to it. But this is Peacock Gnome, holding it back here so you can't zoom in. And my goal for this was to do 500 stitches on the peacock feathers on the left side of the hat. And this is one of the 14 count Charles Craft Adas, and this was some kind of like blue green. I think these are on 1, 2, 3 stitch as well, and they actually do have color names, but I never paid attention to what the colors were. I just see them in the store and I just grab them. So I did, what was it, 500 or 1,000? 500? 500 stitches on the peacock feathers. I had already had all that done over there. So I did 500 stitches over here, and I finished this goal in February. But this is like the blue-green. Of course, you know, the phone always washes out, the camera always washes out the color, but it's like blue-green tie-dye kind of thing. So I think that'll look really good once that's done. So I'm excited for when I do this next year, because like I said, I'm just gonna say like probably 500 stitches on every piece I pull. And if I work on it, I'll still have my board of goals, because what we're gonna do is, for all of you who watch me on a regular basis, you know, I mark all my completed goals off of my big white, my huge trifold board. And I'm still gonna do that. I'm gonna have to have like 3 of those things next year. But what I'll do is I'll have like boxes. I'll have boxes, and every time I work on it and do the 500, I'll check the box off or mark it out or something. And once I hit those boxes, then it will go away until more items get to be picked, because I don't want to just keep pulling the same thing over and over and over again, especially with the full coverages where I could pull it, you know, 50 times and still not be completed with it, you know. So, oh, I need to show you what this looks like. So the next thing I'm going to show you is Design Works kit. It is called, where is it? Christmas ABC. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It was designed by Krista Hamrick. I have a few of these things from her. I just really like the alphabet stuff. I actually have the crafting ABC one done, and it's hanging up next to my coffee pot. But that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I had started in the middle, and that was the ornament block. And so what I said was I wanted to complete the ornament block, I believe is what I said. I don't know why I'm looking for it, because that's what I did. Yes, complete the ornament block. And so things like this, I do them, except for this one has beads. So I did not do the beads because I use a Q-snap and I don't want it to get messed up with the beads. So I have not done the beads on it, but I have done everything else. So the border is done in, and then various spots throughout here are done with a gold metallic that came with the kit. And so this block is done sans beads. And I think what I'm going to do, I pointed this out when I showed it, these stitches right here, I don't know if it was like the end of the thread or something, but they look really thin. So when I pull this out next year, I'm probably just going to go over that one more time to make it thicker like the rest of it, because it looks a little wonky. But that block is done, and it's so pretty. I'm excited to pull it out again next year because it looks really pretty. Okay. Next up is one of my favorite full coverage pieces, and I'm super sad that I had to put it away. I was so excited about working on it that I completed the goal. Oh, that goal I completed in March. Okay, so this is one of my favorite full coverage pieces. It's just so pretty. This one is called Fairy Tale Cottage. It was charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter, and this is $9.79 by $7.37. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I really, really love Abraham Hunter's art. It is just so beautiful. I follow him on Facebook and everything. He's like a real live person. He's not like one of them dead ones, you know. This, I just love this piece. Now they do have a cropped version on their site as well that cuts off about that much of it. So it's just more focused on the house and the carriage with the horse. But I got the full size because I would miss the waterfall. I wanted the waterfall, so I had to get the whole piece. Of course I did. I'm doing this on 28 count, easy count Lugana, 2/1 tent stitch. And my goal for this was to do 2,000 stitches along the top of it, like in the sky. And I did that back in, I should have looked when I was looking at this, now I lost it again. I did that back in February. So, hang on, because I went down on this too. All right, so I did 2,000 stitches along up here. Like I said, I'm doing this 28 count, 2/1 tent. Let me get a little bit closer here. So this is the upper left-hand corner start. And my 2,000 stitches was over here, but this was already all done. Look at the detail on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Betsy did such a good job charting this. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I feel like I used, this has like 130, how many colors does it have? Hang on, let me look and see how many colors this has, because I feel like I used 133, and I feel like I used almost every single color in that top left corner, because it was so much, because the confetti was no joke in these leaves, I swear to God. But I am currently at, I've done 24,631 stitches out of 721,523, and I'm currently at 3.41%. So I had started in the corner, and I was doing, this is all done up here. And then I started feeling froggy, and I wanted to do extreme cross country with the highest color, which was 939. Because there is, hang on, there was over, yeah, it was 939. There was over 70,000 stitches of 939. And so I was like, well, let me cut that down now. I'm down to 67,936 stitches of 939, still left to go. But I started feeling froggy, and I wanted to do extreme cross country. So I started doing that. And then if you've seen any of my videos, you know I get really bored with how I'm stitching, and I always have to change it up. So when I got down here, I stopped, and I started filling all this in. Can't see. There we go. So I started filling all that in right there. So that's the fabric. So yeah, that goal was completed, and this is sadly going away until next year, which is why next year I'm going to be changing how I do this stuff, because I do not want this to go away. I will be dead before it is done if I keep it up like this. Okay. Next up is, I do not know, what is this? Oh, this is Baubles on the next thing I'm going to show you is Baubles on the Beach, and this is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. She has an Etsy shop and a Facebook page. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Upper left-hand corner start. So I'm up here, so you can't really see much of anything. When I started, you couldn't even see the stupid stitches, because I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count white Monaco. And you couldn't see what I was doing because it was like pale stitching. But my goal was to get it to 1%. And so what I did was I started stitching, and I started stitching up here in the corner, and then I came down. I was like, I need some actual color. And so I started working on the sand right there. So space right here, that's the beach grass, which is that up there. And so I currently have, I don't remember the size, but it's not super big. I have 800 stitches done out of 76,729, and I'm at 1.04%. Let me see if I can find the size on the PDF here. Maybe it's down at the, hang on. I'm looking for the size of it. Here it is. 277 by 277. So not, I mean, it's still considered a BAP, a big ass project when you for like Facebook games and stuff. It's still considered a big project, but compared to my other ones, it's not that big. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is from Maya Stitch, and let me see. I think she changed the name of this particular piece. So she's a Ukrainian designer, and I really love her stuff a lot. So on here, this is just the color legends. So on here, it's called Elegant Witch. But when you look at it on her Etsy shop, it's called something else. So, but I'm calling it Elegant Witch because that's what that says. And, oh, that's what it's going to look like. This was actually one of my first like Halloween themed pieces that I bought and actually started working on. I didn't really have, you're going to see that changed very quickly, but I didn't really have any Halloween pieces. My goal for this was to do 500 stitches on the middle and top pumpkin, and I had started already having 800 stitches done on the middle pumpkin. So I'm just doing this on a light brown, like tan almost, not enough chocolate and chocolate milk color 14 count Aida I picked up from the store. Wow, I finally got that Flosstube itchy nose thing. I think it's the fibers, like they float off of the fabric. So I did 500 stitches to finish off this pumpkin, come up here and complete the cross stitching for this pumpkin, and I started the back stitching for that pumpkin. So if you follow me for any length of time, you know how much I hate back stitching. And then I discovered, once I started actually back stitching some of these things like this, I hate back stitching dimensions kits. That's what I hate back stitching. I actually really enjoyed this one. So I still have to finish the back stitching on this, and then of course this one here. But I got my 500 stitches in, so I put it away. I'm sort of organized. I have all my completed goals in one bin, and then I have a few other bins, 2 other bins that have my goals that need to be completed, and then I have my bag of my currently active whips. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is, let's see, Blue and Blue. I think this one's Day to Night North America. I don't have a cover or photo in the bag, so I'm kind of guessing. Pretty sure, yeah, I think this is Day to Night North America. All right, so this is another retired chart from Pain Free Crafts, and I believe this is the one that is available now on Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Lars Stewart. It's another big, hang on, let me see the size real quick. 650 by 464. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And again, upper left-hand corner start, so I started up here. Sarah had 4 pieces available at the time, and I had purchased 1, I think. Did I purchase 1? And then I was just kind of sitting on it. Yeah, I think I had 1 of them. And then she announced that Lars Stewart's artwork was retiring, and I didn't realize it was him. And then she posted photos of the pieces that were gonna be retiring, and I saw it was these, and I'm like, oh no, I can't have that. So I snatched them all up. So my goal for this was to get it to 0.5%. So like I said, upper left-hand corner start. I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a, I think this is a 28 or 32 count, easy count Lugana. Like I said, 1/1 full cross. And I am currently at 1,500 stitches total out of 301,600. And I'm at 0.5% exactly. So there's that one. I like seeing finishes and I like seeing progress, but I also want to stitch all the things. I am a process stitcher is what I think the name is now. I like having a lot of options. I'm not so much worried about finishing these big things, but I do like seeing progress on them. So definitely going to be changing up how I do this next year, for sure. I have another blue blob. Give me a second. I really need to print out these cover photos. Oh, this one is, and it's kind of funny that I can like look at it, and if you give me a second, I can remember what piece it is just from the colors. This is Lighthouse Merriman from Charting Creations. I just gotta find it. It's not, definitely not there. It's up higher. Here we go. Lighthouse Merriman from Charting Creations. From artwork is by Nikki Bohm. And this is what it's gonna look like when it's, hold on. The size is, I should tell you the size, so I gotta scroll down for it. 425 by 352. And it has 99 colors. So Lighthouse Merriman. And I really love this piece because it's got a lot of my favorite things that I have noticed I like to stitch. I like the ocean, I like Christmas, I like lighthouses, I like houses, and I like suns, like sunrises, sunsets, things like that. So it had all of my favorite things, and the best part was that there was no palm trees in it. I really don't like palm trees. I live in Florida, if you didn't know. So I'm surrounded by them, and I can't stand them. I just think they're hideous with their stupid palm fronds that die and they look pathetic. Anyway, I'm doing this. Okay, so that other one, the Day to Night North America, that was definitely 28 count because this is very, very much 32 count. 1/1 full cross on a 32 count, easy count Lugana. And my goal for this was to get it to 1.5%. Oh, hang on, rewind. Day to Night North America, I finished in May. I did that goal in May. And Elegant Witch, I completed that goal in May as well. Sorry, I'm trying to say when I finished the goals. Okay, so get it to 1.5%, and I completed that goal in March. So I have a total of 2,250 stitches done out of 149,600, and I am at 1.50%. So there's that. For anybody who is curious, whenever I do actually finish one of these full coverage pieces, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. I've never finished something this big before. I have no clue what I'll do with it. None whatsoever. I guess I'll have to drop like 500 bucks to get this thing framed. I don't know how much it'll cost to get it framed. I see all these people posting about how it costs hundreds of dollars for smaller pieces. I can't even imagine what a big piece will be. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them when they're done. I just wanna do them. So this is a small kit from Artiste, and it is called Irish Blessing. And it says, May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warmly upon your face. May the rain fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Let me see. Irish Blessing. So I bought this, let's see, it says copyright 2015, so I probably bought it around that time. My goal for this was to complete, I already had the second line in the verse done. I wanted to complete lines 1 and 3, which I did, and I did that in April. I had originally bought this kit when I was married, and I bought it to do and give to my mother-in-law, and you see where I'm at with that, and I've now been divorced for 4 years. But honestly, if I finish this, I most likely will go ahead and give it to her anyway. If I hate to be morbid, but if I can finish it before she dies. But yeah, I had originally bought that to make and give to my mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law now. This next one is actually another UFO, and it's called From This Day Forward. It was a Jan Lin kit, and that is what it was supposed to look like when it was done. I don't think I was doing it on the fabric that came in the kit. I hate the fabric. I despise the fabric. I was trying to see if it says anywhere in here. I wonder if I just bought the pattern. And then I kitted it up myself. I think that I had just purchased the pattern, and then I think I kitted it up myself because I hate this fabric. And I started this like a really long time ago where one of my sisters got married, and she has since divorced and remarried. Like this was like back in 2002. But this is where I can't stand this linen. I absolutely despise it. And when I pulled this back out to work on it, I was working on the groom. My goal was to do, hold on, where is it? My goal was to do 500 stitches on it, and on the groom himself. And I started working on it, and I felt like something was off with the thickness of the thread, but I was using the same thread that I had in there. And I'm like, what is up with this? And then I really started like looking at it under my magnifier, and I'm like, oh my dear God. So when I pulled this out to work on it, I was working on it recently with 2 strands like I always do. And I realized that I had actually been doing this thing in 3 strands when I worked on it 150 years ago. That's why it looks thicker, because I was using 3 strands. Probably because I was getting show through for the fabric. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Bump this. This is driving me crazy. I'm over it. I hate the fabric anyway. So I decided, and because the person I was doing this for is no longer married to the other person, I'm like, well, if I finish this, other people have said that they don't believe in bad juju with wedding samplers. I do believe it. So I had bought this to make for my sister, and then she got divorced. And so I feel like the bad juju would continue in the piece if I did it and gave it to someone else who got married. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to give the other couple bad juju, because I feel like this is now tainted with the divorce juju. So I'm not going to do this, and I'm not even going to restart it, because even if I had finished it, it was just going to sit in a drawer because I wasn't going to give it to anybody. So I was like, you know what? If it's just going to sit in a drawer and I'm not going to do anything with it, I'm not even going to finish it. So what I will do is I'm going to hold on to this until the end of the year for right now. Actually, I'm going to pull this out for right now. So I'm probably going to give this pattern away to somebody who does not care about the bad juju later on. Not right now, but later on I will probably do a giveaway with this, because I have a few paper patterns that I'm done with and I'm not going to do anymore. I don't stitch stuff twice if I can help it. I'll stitch something similar, but I'm not going to stitch it twice. So I'll probably use that for a giveaway later. Actually, no, I can go ahead and throw it back in the bin because I'll remember. Maybe. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, so yeah, that's a UFO. The next thing I'm going to show you is another piece from Cross Stitch for Everyone, and this is called Happy New Year. And this is 264 by 285. And that is not what I was trying to pull up the mock-up. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am stitching the background. I am stitching that background. I feel like it's there for a reason. It's $9.39, it's not $3.10. I have so much detail to show you. Look at all the detail. I am doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. My goal for this was to get it to 1%, which I did in March. Oh, I UFO'd that project. I don't even know when. I just put UFO in the column. I have a column that says when I finished the goal, and I just put UFO. So I don't know when I UFO'd that project, that wedding one. But anyway, I finished this goal in March. And so I now have a total of 800 stitches out of 75,240. I am actually at 1.06% because I wanted to get a nice even block done. And I still have a ways to go before I'm actually going to get to any color. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is when I will get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That block there is when I will actually see anything other than 939. Although I'm almost tempted. I still have 51,256 stitches of 939, and I'm almost tempted to just do all the 939 and then fill it in. Let me zoom out so you don't see the symbols. But look what would happen if I just did 939. That'd be kind of cool, yeah? I don't know, we'll see. That's a future gen issue. That's a future gen problem, not this year gen, because this year gen has already completed her goal for that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is a really old kit. A really old kit. This is called Muppet on Indian Carpet, and this is from Leslie Ann Ivory. Debbie from Owl and Gator Stitcher, she's actually stitching a piece from Heaven and Earth Designs, I believe, that is from the same designer. She pointed that out when I showed this. She was like, oh, I have that, though. It's one of her focus pieces, I think, that she's trying to finish, but she has a piece from the same designer, by a different company. Anyway, my goal for this was to do 500 stitches on the carpet. I'm stitching this with what came in the kits, 14 count dark blue Aida. And when I had first shown this last year on my whip parade, I couldn't tell what was what because it was just a blob of that. So I said I want to do 500 stitches on the carpet, and whoopah! I did that in March. That's what I can do. Instead of showing pictures, I'll just put my hand in front of where I work and then whoopah! So yeah, I did 500 stitches on the carpet. So that goal is done for the year. You ever think to yourself, if you've been stitching for a long time, you ever think to yourself, you know, my $1 million idea, really, I should have just invested in it, because I think I started this When did I start this? I started this before those stupid floss organizer things were a thing. At least a thing that I ever saw. I don't even know when. 97. I was in high school. And this was how I organized my floss back then. I took a piece of cardboard, I punched holes in it, and put the symbol on there. If I would have just thought, hey, other people might like this too, I would have been a millionaire. I wouldn't be working right now because I would be making these. Boo hiss. Boo hiss. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is in a little project thing that my mom made me. I have a thread hanging. Look at that. My mom made that for me. And this is a piece from Peppermint Purple. It's one of my blackwork pieces. I don't have many. I have some I want to start, but I don't have hardly any that I actually have started. This is called Sunny Waves, and it's available on her website. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is a terrible copy of it because my printer was running out of ink when I printed the pattern. And my goal for this was to do, what's it called? Sunny Waves. I was looking under P for Peppermint Purple. My goal for this was to do 1,000 stitches on the section I was working on and then move into a new section, which I did. Whoopah! So, wait, hold on. Is this upside down? No. So I finished this section here. Let me get you close up. Blackwork, you need that close upness. So I finished this section here. And then because of how I ended it, I was originally going to do this small section above it, but I ended up, because I ended my black thread like right over here as the finishing outline, I went ahead and just started outlining the section that was like right there. So then I just started filling that in. So if you ever want to try blackwork, and you hate backstitching, it is completely different than backstitching. It's a whole different game. It is not just backstitching. You're making designs, repetitive designs with it, and it's so much more interesting than what you think it's going to be. So heads up, if you want to try it, Peppermint Purple does a free stitch along every year. All you have to do is join her Facebook page. I will try to link it down below. I have not done it, but she has a free stitch along every year where every week she releases a small piece, and there's like a whole, it's like a whole thing, but every week she releases a block. And so you can try it for free on Scrap Ada. If anything, just get the current block or a past block or something that's available on the Facebook page, and just try it and see if you like it. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I don't know how I ended up in her group, but boy, I'm glad I did, because I just absolutely adore blackwork. I really do. I like it a lot. Now, I don't have a lot of blackwork pieces to show, but I like it a lot. But yeah, I will try to link her Facebook page down below. She has a few of them. She has the free stitch along group, and then she also has one that's like just her general blackwork group. So you can share your other pieces in there, in that group there. And I'll link her website down below too. She has an Etsy shop, and she also has her own website. And another really good blackwork designer that I don't actually have any of her pieces, but I really admire them, is Leslie Tier. She does a combination of blackwork and cross stitch, and her stuff is just the cutest thing ever. I should get some so I can start them next year. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is another piece from the Cross Stitch Studio, and this artwork is also by Abraham Hunter. Hang on. This is 869 by 583, and this is called Hiding Place. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I love this piece. Oh, I just love it so much. It reminds me of my family vacations that we have started taking this year. My parents rent a cabin in the mountains in, Georgia, North Carolina, stuff like that. And the whole family goes up at least once a year just to hang out for a week and just relax. We've never rented a cabin on a river like that, but that's what it just reminds me of that. Okay, so my goal for this was to get it to 2%. I'm doing this 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana. The fabric is discolored because I spilled raspberry tea on it and I don't want to wash out the grid lines. So I just left it because I'm stitching over it anyway. But I got it to 2%. Upper left-hand corner start, of course. And like I said, this is 2/1 tent stitch. I have 10,135 stitches done out of 506,627. And I am at 2% exactly. So that is that. Love this piece. Where did my bag go? Oh, it's over here. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is from, is this Maya Stitch? I believe this is Maya. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but this looks like how she has her stuff. Yeah, Maya, I don't know. Anyway, I call this Privet Drive because I don't know what she's calling it, but I call this Privet Drive. And it's Hedwig sitting on the Privet Drive sign with the houses in the background. And I am doing this on a piece of 32 count gingham fabric, gray gingham. And my goal for this was to do 500 stitches on it, which I did. So Hedwig looks a little funny. I'm still debating if I'm gonna frog it and redo that, but I looked and it's accurate. It's a blend. The yellow all right here is a blend because it's supposed to be like a light shining, but it's a blend of white and yellow, and the yellow is just too dominant. So I'm debating on if I'm going to pull that yellow out and redo it with a lighter shade of yellow as the blend. I'm not sure. But anyway, I got my 500 done on that. So that's done. I might just leave it. I mean, it could completely change once I actually put the back stitching on there. It could completely change. Maybe it should look like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So there's that one. And I'm doing this. So I said 32 count and I'm doing it 2/2. Okay. Next up is Coffee Gnome. And this is from that cute broidery lady. Hold it back here. And my goal for this, the Privet Drive piece, I finished that goal in April. Okay, so Coffee Gnome. My goal for this was to do 500 stitches on the coffee cup and then move over to the braid, and I finished this goal in March. And this is one of the rolls of, like, not enough chocolate Charles Craft Ada that I picked up at Joann's. But I did 500 stitches on this coffee cup, and I started filling this in right here. that's actually still part of the coffee cup, but I got my 500, so I stopped. So that's where I'm at on that. Over here. These gnome patterns are so cute. I want all of them. Every single one of them. I love gnomes. They're so cute. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is from Tiny Modernist, and this is their Easter calendar. I have Halloween calendar and Christmas calendar that I will be starting next year. This is Easter calendar, and my goal for this was to finish, because I started in the middle, which ended up being block 11, and so I wanted to finish block 11 and, well, not block, but day 11. Day 11 and day 10. So finish this one and do this one. And I completed that goal in April. I'm doing this on, I don't know what color it is. I don't know who dyed it. I picked this fabric. Did I order this fabric on 1-2-3 Stitch? No. I think I picked this fabric up the last time I was at my LNS, which is, it's not really local to me. It's like 2 hours away, but my preferred LNS is Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida. It's fabulous because they will cut your fabric to fit the size of your project, and not all shops do that. They usually just have them in a set amount, but they will cut your fabric to the size of your project, so that you don't have to buy more than what you need, unless you want to. But this was actually the only downside is that they didn't put the color fabric, but this is what the fabric looks like. And I don't remember the color of the fabric. I don't even remember seeing a tag on it. I just saw it and I liked it. So I finished day 11 and day 10. So that's done. And I got the back stitching done on day 10 too, in the nest. So that's done. And, oh, this piece here is actually a finish. I need to pull this, I need to set this aside because I'm going to take this to my mom. So, or maybe I'll just frame it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I need to keep this out because I got to do an FFO somehow. This is from Pantini Pantini, and it's called Craft Supplies and Other Lies. And she has, I think she's going to be putting out a series. I swear to God, I've seen other pieces that are like this, but there's only 2 for sale right now. This one and then one other that I'm going to start next year. But I swear I've seen others. I feel like I have. Maybe they were exclusives and she hasn't released them to the public yet. I don't know. Anyway, it says, I will not buy craft supplies this month and other lies I tell myself. And I did this on a 16 count Aida in the color Dirty. And isn't that cute? I finished this in April. I love it. So the other one I have that I'm going to start next year is just one more chapter. It's for books. And even though I don't read, I just really like it. I don't really read, but it says just one more chapter, another lies I tell. Maybe I'll give that one to my sister. She loves to read. If I do that next year, if I can do it and finish it next year, I'll give it to my sister because she loves to read. But I will not buy craft supplies this month and other lies I tell myself. So I'm going to keep this one out so that I can finish it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is from Stitchrovia, and this is called Sweet Bee. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And my goal for this was to do 1,000 stitches. I started in the center, so I wanted to do 1,000 stitches to work on getting the center block completed. and I finished this goal in April. I'm doing this on a 28 count Jobelan in the color Lamb's Wool with two thread, 2/2, obviously 1 stitch for the back stitching, but I got the block itself done, as you can see, with all the back stitching in there, and then I started working on the border of it. I love this. Absolutely love it. I love Stitchrovia. Emma Congdon, she's just such a good designer. I love her stuff. I have a lot of her patterns, and I'm going to be starting a lot more. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is another Stitchrovia pattern. Okay, so here's where I messed up a little bit. This is a little magic, and it says everything is better with a little magic. And when I bought this, I did not realize that she had 2 versions, one for light fabric and one for dark fabric. And what did I do? I bought a kind of dark fabric and put the light fabric pattern on it. So some of this is a little hard to see, but I can see it in person, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm doing this on a, I don't know, this is like a 16 count Aida. It's some kind of blue crystal. It's sparkly, it's blue and mottled. I don't know who dyed it. I have no clue. Let me show you the whole thing first. That's the fabric. You see what I mean? Kind of dark fabric, but it's not super dark. But my goal for this was, what's this called again? A little magic. My goal for this was to do 500 stitches doing the middle witches. I put starting point NA. Why did I do that? Oh, probably because I didn't have a stitch count. So I ended up, instead of doing the middle witches, because of how I have my Q-snap on here, I did this witch here. She's all done, and I moved up to the letters. So like I said, my mistake, I kind of picked a little bit too dark of a fabric for this, but I can see it in person. And so I'm not going to stress about it because I like it. I just keep saying that because I know there's going to be someone that thinks in their head, oh, that fabric is way too dark. You can't see it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to say, I can see it just fine. So unless you want to come over and take a look for yourself. Shh. All right, this next piece I'm going to show you is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is called Birdhouse Gardens. Did I say when I finished that? I finished that goal in April. This next piece is from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Birdhouse Gardens, and artwork is by Cyril Marchetti. And this is regular size, regular color. It's 600 by 420, and it has 90 colors. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that cute? It's so cute and colorful. I really love this artist. He's so good. My goal for this was to get it to 2%. And I did. I'm doing this 2/1 on a, well, it's Aida, so it's going to be 1. But it's a 20 count, easy count Aida. And I'm doing 2 strands, full cross. That's where I'm at with it so far. Doesn't that look so good, just what I have done? I have 5,050 stitches out of 252,000 stitches done. And I am at exactly 2%. That looks so good. But it's going away until next year. 6 more months at least before I can see it again. Ah, yes, it's definitely changing how I do this next year. Definitely, most definitely. All right. Next thing I'm going to show you is a goal that I just recently finished. Oh, I completed that goal in Birdhouse Gardens. I completed that goal in April. This next thing I'm going to show you is I think I just showed it yesterday. Pretty sure I just showed it yesterday on my update. Wonderful Time of the Year by Ursula Michael. And my goal for this was to finish the time of the year. Finish that phrase right there. And yeah, I just showed this in my update yesterday, so I'm not going to go into, well, you might not have seen it, but I'm doing this on a 28 count white opalescent Monaco, 2/2. And I got that done. Isn't that pretty? Can you see the sparkle? You can kind of see the, yeah, you can kind of see the sparkle there. Yeah, so I'll be excited to pull that out again because it's so pretty. It's gonna look so good when it's done. Okay, next up is another one of my villages, and I believe I just showed this in my update yesterday as well. I got a lot of my goals done the past 2 weeks. I got like 10 of them done. This is from Stony Creek Collection, and this is Summer in the Village. And the phrase says, summer is a lovely time of carefree play and sunny days. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And my goal for this was to, is this the cross-stitching one? Yeah, finish the cross-stitching on the far left building. This building over here was what I wanted to finish the cross-stitching on. And again, I don't know, does Witch Elf dye fabric? Do they dye fabric? If they do, I think it's Witch Elf. African Daisy, 28 count, even weave in the color African Daisy. I'm doing it 2/2 full cross. Whoopah! Got that done. This was already completed, obviously, but I got all the cross stitching in this building done. I kind of wish this year was over so that I could, so that I can pull these pieces back out again because I want to keep working on them. I'm looking forward to what I'm planned to do next year, which is going to be to just which is going to be to just pull them out and keep working on them every 500 stitches until they either, I got to think about, I'll probably ask for y'all's input. I got to think about how many times I want to work on them before they do need to be put away so I can work on other stuff. Okay, so next up is Halloween Feather Tree, and this is Little Robin Designs. And I was actually watching a new to me Flosstuber. Actually, she's a new Flosstuber, but she already has way more subscribers than I do. What was her name? Oh man, she just put out her first video like not even a week ago, and she started with a whip parade, and she had these feather trees from Little Robin Designs hanging on her wall, and I'm like, oh my god, there's more. But this is Halloween Feather Tree. What was her name? I don't remember now. It was one of those things where I was like watching Flosstube as I was stitching, and I have it on my TV. So I watch a lot of you guys that have Flosstube channels and watch me. I watch probably just about all of you, but because I watch it on my television, I don't leave a comment. So just in your heart, know that I'm watching you. Because I have so many subscriptions to Flosstubers. And this was one of those things where it's like the one I was watching ended, and then this chick just shows up, and she's from Canada. It was a blonde-haired lady. She was wearing a blue shirt. What was her name? I could tell from her accent before she even said she was from Ottawa that she was Canadian. And she had all these Little Robin Designs on her wall. I'm gonna have to go back and look, and yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that's what made me think of her, was because she had Little Robin Designs feather trees on her wall, and I did not realize that. I've never really looked to see what all they have. I just saw this one and liked it. Anyway, all that to say, I'm gonna have to go get more. But anyway, so this is Halloween Feather Tree, and my goal for this, that's driving me crazy, because once her thing got done, the Calculated Stitcher popped up, and I'd never seen her before either, and I am now subscribed to her. And with her, I remember her name because her real name is Jennifer, and mine is too. And she said, "Hi, this is Jennifer, the Calculated Stitcher," and I had to look up because I'm like, wait, what? Because the way she said it, it sounded like she was saying my name. What am I looking for? Halloween feather tree. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Halloween feather tree, Little Robin Designs. I wanted to complete the motifs and shelves 2 and 3. I am doing this on a 32 count Vintage Stormy Night. Who does this? Anyone who uses Vintage Stormy Night, you know. Is it Picture This Plus? Zweigart? Not Picture This Plus. It's a printed fabric. So the back is solid, and then the white is, or the front is, the part that you want to stitch on is like modeled. So anyway, I wanted to finish, I don't remember who does it though, but it's Vintage Stormy Night. I really love this for Halloween stuff. And honestly, I might use it for a few Christmas things that are kind of like night themed. But yeah, so I wanted to finish, I already had that and the stem and like this part done. So, oh, hold on, hang on. So I wanted to finish shelves 2 and 3. Whoopah! Y'all are gonna be so sick of me by the end of this. I am using, I think, just about all of the called fors, except for, I'm using just about all of the called fors except for Raven. It called for Gentle Arts Raven, and I am subbing that out for $3.10. And Weeks Dye Works Grits, I am subbing out for $38.65. And if you ever work on this, what I will say is make sure you read the directions, because I'm going to read this to you real quick. If you have this pattern and you have not done the urn yet, it says stitch the highlights of the urn first, then stitch the rest of the urn following the contours created by the outline and the highlights. So I guess that's to make sure that, to give you, because you're using a overdyed. Let me see. This is the open circle. Yeah, Brown Bear. Oh, and I used Brown Bear in one of my other pieces, so I know that can variegate a lot. So if you just follow the contours of the highlights, which is, what color is the highlight? I'll go ahead and pull these colors out real quick too, so I can show you. Fisherman's Wharf. Let me pull these colors out real quick. Hang on. Oh, Brown Bear I have in another bag. But this is going to be what the highlights are, and then Brown Bear is similar but darker with the variegation. It goes from like a light brown to like a dark brown, and so that's why it says to kind of do it that way, so you don't like get a weird variegation to it. So anyway, shelves 2 and 3 are done, and I went ahead and finished the little feathers that were missing under the pumpkin there. But yeah, so apparently there are more feather trees that I need to go investigate. She had like a Christmas themed one, I think. And I love Christmas stuff. I absolutely love it. So yeah. Thank you, new Flosstuber that I cannot for the life of me remember her name, which really sucks because I liked it a lot. Okay. This next piece is another village from Stony Creek. This is Autumn in the Village. I think I completed all my goals for all my villages. I won't see these again until next year. I just thought about it. I just showed you all of the villages. That makes me sad. Autumn in the Village from Stony Creek Collection, and this phrase says, autumn is the second spring when every leaf's a flower. I actually really like that quote. Look at that, isn't that pretty? All right, Autumn in the Village. My goal was to do 1,000 stitches on on this. And this is don't know the dyer, but it's a 28 count and 28 count even weave in the color chai tea, I believe. You know what I should do if I was being a prudent floss tuber would be to go back on my order history on 123 Stitch and write down, because it's on there. I just haven't done it. But what I may do one of these days is actually go on my order history and see like who dyed it, so I can actually write it down and give you the correct information. So anyway, that was my starting point there, and I had some of the outline done of this building over here, and whoopah! I did 1,000 stitches on that building right there. So I can't see. There we go. So I'm doing this 2 over 2. No back stitching on this piece yet. That will change next year. Okay, next up. We're still on the goals I completed, y'all. I've actually done quite a bit. I'm not quite halfway, but so I had started with 139 products, so I'm not quite halfway. I've only done 50 out of 139. But I think I've been trucking along pretty good. I still don't think I'm gonna get all of them done though. All right, so next up is an old kit from Designs for the Needle, copyright 2004. It's a Jan Lane kit. That's what it's called, Goodnight Bears, and that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. Oh, the Autumn in the Village, I completed that goal in May. Okay, Goodnight Bears. My goal for this was to do 500 stitches on this little bear here in the pink, right here. I wanted to do her face and move over to her nightgown. And I finished this goal in April. I like how I'm doing this, and yet if, you know, you're like, I don't remember what it looked like before. So, but yeah, I worked a lot on her head, and then I moved over to the pink because I was getting sick of the brown. This was already all done. So there's that one. All right, next up is another, that 8 Christmas ABC that I showed you. I have another one of those called Ocean ABC by Designworks, and artwork is by Krista Hamrick, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Love this one, absolutely adore this. And my goal for this was to complete the flip-flop block. And I'm looking for it because I gotta see when I finish that. April. So I already, and I'm just doing what came in the kit. It's a 14 count white Aida. I had already finished the A and the B, and I decided to move down to F, and whoopah! Flip flop. Got that block completely done with all the back stitching. Give you a little bit of closer look of all 3 of those. So you got anemone and butterfly fish, and then I went down to flip flop. So when I do something like this, I like to, it's like a mini finish if you do each block in its entirety. So I could, at this point here, I could go over to C for crab. I could actually, because butterfly fish is done, I could do this seashell here, or I could do the gulls, seagulls, or I could go down to Lighthouse since F is done. I could do the Lighthouse. Who knows? But you know what? You know when you're gonna find that out? Next year, because the goal is done. Okay. Next up is another UFO that I'm gonna be setting aside because I'm going to restart this one. This is Be Still by Be Still by the Cross Stitch Studio, and artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And I absolutely, it's a really big piece. It's 979 by 737, and it's got I don't know, like 130 something colors. that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this was the very first large full coverage piece I had ever purchased. This scene just like made my jaw drop. So I bought it. Now, I UFO'd it because I don't like the fabric. And I don't like how I stitched it. Let me show you where I was at. I did an upper left-hand corner start. You see my fabric was fraying, so I only had like an inch left. But I did this is a 22 count hardanger, and I did this 2/2 or 2/1 full cross. And it's just, it's so thick. It's way too thick. I don't like it at all. At all. But I love the pattern. So I'm going to get new fabric for it, and I will do either a 28 or 32, probably a 32 count if I can. Easy count Lugana, and I will do it 1/1 full cross. Because that piece is just, oh, I just love it. And I will probably save the rest of this fabric for something else. Maybe I could get a couple of my smaller full coverages out of this. Because I now know it's not that I don't like 22 count hardanger, it's that the fact that I started this not correctly. I have come to realize that my threshold for two threads full cross, over like 2/1 full cross, cannot be any higher than 20 count. So I can do 2 threads full cross on 20 count just fine. If it's 22 or higher, I have discovered that I need to do either 2 threads tent stitch or 1 thread full cross. I discovered that with that piece. So it's unfortunate, but this was the year that I realized that it was okay to UFO and restart a project. And I'm glad I did, because I was at 1.82%. I had done 13,144 stitches out of 721,523. And I had put that down I started that in 2020, I think. It was the biggest piece I had ever done. I had ever started working on, and I put it down for a few years because I started doing all the things thanks to Flosstube, but I was realizing that I had put it down and walked away from it because I hated working on it because of how the stitches were being done. And someone had mentioned, they were like, well, you could just convert it and do 2/1 tent, or just, but it was like, I feel like it would have been too obvious because that was 2/1 full cross. So that was a really thick piece of like stitching. And I feel even converting it to 2/1 tent stitch, it would have been too obvious, because when I do tent stitch, I do it in the same direction as my bottom leg because that's how I naturally stitch. I do bottom left, top right. And so if I would have converted it to tent stitch, it would have been the opposite direction of how those were. And it would have looked too weird. And then also if I would have done 1 thread full cross, it would have just been, the difference in the thickness would have been too much. So I'm going to restart it next year. So you're probably going to see that again because I don't think I really mentioned that in my things I want to start videos. So those 2 UFOs that I'm going to restart will be brought up again. All right. The next thing I'm going to show you is from Charting Creations, and this is called Checking the List, and there are more pieces that I want to start with this style. The artwork is by Marcelo Corti, and this is 280 by 419. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So grayscale background, and then bam, Santa in all his glory right there in the middle. And there are about 4 pieces that look like that, and I want all of them. My friend Lori has stitched at least one of them, maybe two. And she sent me a picture of them because I was like, my stitching friend, not my like person I see friend, you know what I mean? Like, but she stitched a couple of them and she sent me photos and I was like, wow, these look so good. But she had not done this one yet. So yeah, I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. And my goal for this, checking the list. My goal for this was to get it to 3%, and I completed that in April. Upper left-hand corner start. So this is the, let me turn this so I can zoom in a little bit better. Upper left-hand corner up here. Oh my God, up here is where I started. Ta-da! So yeah, I'm really enjoying this a lot. And so I have 3,518 stitches done out of 117,320, and I am at exactly 3% done. And I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to have a few more of the things I want to start videos, because there's a few full coverage pieces that I want to start next year, including all the ones that are along that theme. If you're still watching and you've never seen me before, I am a really bad enabler, I have been told. I have so many different types of patterns that almost anybody can find something that I'm working on that they want. Okay. And I am not sorry about it at all. If you say, should I get this? I will say, yes, you should. Okay, this is a kit from Luca S. It's called Santa. I think somebody actually left a comment saying that they had to pause my video to go buy this kit. But this is Santa, and I'm just using what came in the kit. If you've never done a Luca S kit before, the pattern is really easy to read, and this is how their threads come. I'm actually using the little holes over on the sides here to hold because I'm cutting lengths like I normally do, and I'm using the slit on the side to hold the thread there, but I'm using the hole over here to hold the length of the thread I'm not using. But this is how it comes. I think I know Riolis is a wool acrylic blend kind of thing. This one might be too. It feels like really thick, like thicker than the cotton, than the DMC and stuff. But this is all the thread, and the pattern is really easy to read. It's actually, so it's technically 4 pages, but when I looked at it's got 46 colors. It's a 16 count white Aida, and it's 162 by 160. And when it's 4 pages, but like real quick, that's page 4, right? That's page 1. So it's like, or page 3 or whatever. But so anyway, it's 4 pages, but it's not 4 whole pages. And pages 1 and 3 are like redonkulous with their size. So anywho, so I started in the middle. Oh my God. Okay, let me just show you what I did. I started in the middle, and my goal was to do 500 stitches on it. So I found where I was at, and then I realized after I started working out, I was like, wait a minute, I think I have this in GoodNotes. So what I did was I had taken a picture of the pattern, and I pulled it up in GoodNotes. So then I pulled it up there, and I was able to mark off where I was. So that was way easier. So I did 500 stitches on this, and I just completed this. I showed it in my update video yesterday. So that will be going away until next year. But I really enjoy it. It's the threads are nice to work with. The pattern is easy to read. I like it a lot. So I have a feeling that there may be more Luca S kits. Luca S kit purchases in my future. Okay. Oh, so I did not show you all of my Seasons in the Village by Stony Creek because this is my last one. Winter in the Village by Stony Creek Collection. And this quote says, "Winter's blessing is the gift of quiet reflection." That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And my goal for this was to get 1,000 stitches done on the back stitching of this center building right here. And I'm doing this on a 28 count. Again, I don't know who dyed it, but the color is Summer Sky. And I did that. So I got 1,000 back stitches done. And I realized as I was back stitching that I'm actually missing the cross stitching in 2 stitches here and 3 stitches there. So I'll have to do that next time I pull this out. But yeah. So that goal is done. Again, I don't remember who dyed it, but it's Summer Sky is the colors, and I got it on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So if you go on 1, 2, 3 stitch and if you want that fabric, let me show you the whole fabric. It's like a really pretty, it's like a summer sky. It's hard to tell on the camera, but it looks like a light blue with like and it's got the white mottled effect like it's clouds, which I thought was really nice. Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if that is Summer Sky. No, maybe it is. Because I just realized this, I actually did not get that on 1, 2, 3 stitch. I got that from Brick City because they cut it to size. Because all my other villages, the fabric is way bigger because I had to buy it in a fat quarter. And this one, they cut it to fit the piece. Maybe it's not Summer Sky. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's Summer Sky. Moving on. Okay, this one is another finish. This is from Dirty Annie's, and this is called Fat Pants. And it says, "Happy Thanksgiving, get your fat pants ready." And I did this on a 16 count Aida in the color Dirty. And that is my finish. Look at that. I finished that in June, this month. Was this one of my updates? Anyone who watched me? Did I finish it? Yeah, I showed this in my update yesterday. So I did almost all of the called fors. It calls for Weeks, Classic Colorworks, and the Gentle Art threads. And I had to sub out the orange because I did not have Bittersweet. I subbed it out for I subbed out the orange for Simply Shaker, the Gentle Art, Fragrant Cloves. I'm not really into, like, I just started using the fancy flosses, so sometimes I stumble over the brands because I'm not super familiar with them because I just started using them this year. But I subbed out the Bittersweet for the Fallen Cloves. And, oh, this is the Brown Bear. So that Halloween Feather Tree, now that this is done, I should pull this out. But this is Brown Bear. And so you see how it goes from light to dark. And this is why they were saying to do, like, just follow the contour so it's not a weird variegation. I need to pull these. I should just pull these threads out because that project is done. And then this was Buckeye Scarlet. That was the called for. Onion Skin. I'm not going to show all of these. Hang on. Dark Chocolate. Here's the green I had to sub. So it called for Bean Sprout, and I didn't have it, but I did have Little Sprout. So I subbed that out for the green. So I'm going to pull those threads out because this project is done. There's no sense in saving it. So one more look because I just love this piece so much, and I'm going to bring it to my mom so she can do something with it for me. Happy Thanksgiving. Get your fat pants ready. I started this on Thanksgiving Day of last year, American Thanksgiving. So it was like November the 24th or something, and I finished it, I don't know, I'll have to look, June this month. And the past 11 days I finished it. Okay. Next up is from Cross Stitch for Everyone, and this is from her Year of Gnomes Stitch Along that she did. I think, I don't remember what she calls it now, a gnome a month, I think. But when I bought it, it was a Year of Gnomes Stitch Along. So it's a different gnome every single month that was themed to that like season. You mock up. And this is the May gnome. I will be starting all the other months next year, so that will be 11 starts for me, new starts for me. But this is the May gnome. And my goal for this was to get it to 75%, which I did. I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count white monogo. So I got it to 75%. Actually, I'm over 75%. I have a total of 5,598 stitches out of 7,368. I'm at 75.98%. It's almost done. It's almost done, y'all. And so here's a funny story. So I had bought this white monogo, right? Thinking, hey, I can finish this all, I can do them all on one piece. And for some reason, I thought May would be in the middle. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So they're not all going to fit, but for some reason, I was thinking that they would. I don't know why. But I got to look and see. I think if I cut it, because I'm going to finish them all separate, and I think if I cut it small enough, I could probably get 9 of the gnomes on here. If I do some careful counting, I think I can get 9 of the gnomes on here, and then I just need another piece of white monoco to do the other 3. But that's where that one is so far. Okay, we got a few more of my goals completed. This next one is another finish, and this is from Maya Stitch, and this is called, I call it Flower Gnome. I think she calls it like Spring in Bloom Gnome or something like that when I looked at it yesterday. I did this on, this is another finish, and I did this on a 14 count pink opalescent Ada from Charles Craft. And this is my finish. Look how stinking cute this is. Look how cute she is. Isn't she just adorable? And if I would have counted right, I probably could have done it this way and gotten 2. That was a little bit of a waste of a fabric, but you know what? Whatever. It's whatever. Look how cute that is. I absolutely adored it. And I actually enjoyed the back stitching on it as well. I completed that this month. I was making sure I didn't miss any back stitching. I didn't. It looked off to me over here, but no, there's no back stitching right there. But yeah, so that was a finish this month. Isn't that just flippin' adorable? I absolutely love it. So I'll be bringing this to my mom so that she can do something with it for me. So I'm going to set this one aside. What I'm hoping is I can have them be FFOs for my end of year whip parade in 6 months. Okay, next up is, this is another retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. This is Wanderlust Camping, artwork by Lars Stewart. I have not seen this one available anywhere else yet, but like I said before, he is licensed with Heaven and Earth Design, so Michelle may be releasing this some point in the future. This is $4.97 by $3.27. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing this on a 28 count easy count Lugana 1/1 full cross. My goal for this was to get it to 1%. My goal for this was to get it to 1%. I did an upper left-hand corner start, and I have done a total of 1,625 stitches out of 1,625 1,625 stitches out of 162,519 stitches, and I am exactly 1% complete. So there's that. Again, some of these pieces is just a blob of color, not really much to show because they're so big. It is what it is, you know? And I completed that goal in June, this month. Last week. Okay, next up is Quick Stitch Red Panda. And this is a chart that I adopted from my friend Naomi. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. And artwork is by Meredith Dillman. And it's quick stitch, so it's 175 by 245. It has 90 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that cute? I've never stitched anything really like this before, but I kind of like it. And there was a new release on Heaven and Earth Designs that's kind of similar to that I kind of want to get now. But anyway, so so this is being stitched on a 28 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. Naomi had started this in a diagonal, and I just took her parked threads. My goal was to get it to, 4%. And so I just took her parked threads and I started just finishing them off. And I completed this in this past week. I have 1,714 stitches out of 42,875, and I am exactly 4%. And I mean, this is the width of the thing. Like, it's like, let me see, how many squares until the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And wait, hold on, where did I count from though? Wait a minute. From this one here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Yeah. So that block there is the end. So I'm almost to the end, width-wise. All right. So that's that one. So those are all the goals that I have completed so far. 50 out of, well, counting the UFOs, 50 out of 139. So I'm going to take a break. I'm at 1 hour and 57 minutes. Those are the goals that I've completed. You will not be seeing those again until the end of the year whip parade. I'm going to take a quick break, reset, bathroom break, grab a drink, I don't know. But anyway, start getting this section uploaded, and then I will be back with part 2 of my whip parade, which are the goals that have not been met yet. We'll see if it has to be 3 parts. I don't know. So anyway, I will see you in the next part of the whip parade. I hope you enjoyed. So let me just end this real quick. So if you liked what you had to see so far and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified when I post a new video. I hope you liked the whips that I had to show so far. I have a lot more to go. We are nowhere near done. And I'm hoping by the end of the year that I have like either a new phone or a new iPad or something that has a lot of storage on it, so I can just make this one long epic video that's like longer than anything, because I'm at 1 hour and 58 minutes already, and I've only shown 50 out of 139. Woo! Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Actually, I'm gonna talk for 1 more minute to get it nice even 2 hours. But yeah, so I think what I'll do is I will first show you the whips that I have set aside to work on the next 2 weeks. And then from there, we will move on to the whips of the of goals that I have not completed yet. And yeah, so you'll get a sneak peek of of one of the things, because I worked on it last night. So you'll see that then. Okay, so let me reset. I'm going to start getting this video uploaded, and we will move on. We will move on to the next one. All right, I have 10 seconds before I hit 2 hours. So I don't really have anything to say. Okay, I'm at 2 hours. Okay, all right. Let me pause this, and I'll see you in the next part 2 of the Whip Parade. So part 2 coming up. All right, bye.